Yeah. Uh. Hey yo, man, it's your time. And fuck poverty. Get this money, man. What the fuck you gotta do? You know what I'm saying?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Phil and Leroy the Judgmental Podcast,
Your boy Phil back on here.
and I'm Leroy. So, what's been going on, Phil?
These goddamn Eagles and all the noise and drama they making around the league.
well, this was supposed to be a Sunday game with Washington and the Eagles. The NFL flexed the game to Sunday night for what reason? I have no idea. Why in the world you want two bad teams to end off Sunday night, to end off the finale of the season is beyond me. And it worked in the Eagles' favor because hell, look, they tanked the game just to move up three extra spots in the draft.
Yep.
So who they getting at the sixth spot?
Uh, First let's talk about the Eagles tanking. How you feel about that?
Oh well, hey, look, what can you say?
I think I think it was a disgrace and embarrassment to the league.
Wow.
You can tank. Teams have been tanking since the beginning of the time, but you
You
can't.
blanking out. You blanking
This is
out.
where
Say it
the
again.
whole world. I said you can't tank in a primetime game, last game of the season with the whole world watching. You can't make it that obvious.
Well, hey, look, it ain't they fault they flexed the game this Sunday. The game was supposed to be on Sunday in the afternoon.
Yeah, but if Doug Peterson wanted to tank, all he had to do was take Hurts out at halftime. Regardless of what
That
the score was, you take him out at halftime.
that didn't come from Doug. That came
Probably
from
not, but
that, that came from your boy Howie because Howie got that. This is why I wanted to skip it because Howie, first of all, Howie should be evaluated at the end of the season. They should have never brought him back till next season without him being evaluated for this season. All the drafts he messed up. This debauchery that happened on Sunday night. He should have been in the office Monday morning explaining himself, but they gave him an extension. What they gave him the extension during last week, right? So hey, his
uh,
spot is already filled. So he tanked the season. That
right,
didn't come from Doug. It couldn't have been. It's
it, it,
impossible.
you're right, but he's taking the blame for it, and he also made a dumbass remark the what you call it when they interviewed him the end of the game interview. He said that he was coaching to win, but he also said I wanted to get Sudfeld some reps. You can't have it both ways. It's either you want to win a game or you want to get Sudfeld some reps, regardless of what happened. Sudfeld been in the league 4 years. He's 27, zero starts. You know what he about. If you thought he was any good, you would have took Hurst last year. You would have just made him the backup with possibility becoming the starter. You know what I mean? So he's full of shit with that. I just wanted to get some reps, and I was trying to win.
Right, but who do you think that Doug is going to blame? Well, I don't have nothing to do with this. It's Harry Roseman is the one that told us to tank the season.
Well, I think the owner has to sit. He has to be take blame in this too because he allowed them to do that. You know what I mean? So maybe the owner was like, all right, cool, we can do this. The bottom line is they both should have a sit down with the owner, and something got to change. The owner ain't going nowhere because he's the owner. He ain't got to sell his team. So clown, and he probably I'll give him one more year only because he won the Super Bowl. But if they want to fire him, I'm cool with that too.
Yeah,
Howie,
go ahead.
Howie in the same boat. I give him one more year, but if they want to fire him, I won't be mad.
Right, I said that Doug Peterson is on thin ice next season, and Howie should be evaluated, not just for the game on Sunday, but just the draft picks he messed up. How many
Yeah.
draft picks they
Well,
haven't?
well, you can't really say that because we did get some good players. It just ain't paying out. Like Goddard, when Goddard came out, he was the best tight end in the draft. We got him. Our
But did you
running
need him?
back,
But did you
we
need him?
didn't. We did see, and that's another thing. We didn't need him, but trying to take him from Dallas from getting him. You got to worry about your own team. You can't worry about what other people do. And we got him just for the sole purpose of Dallas would, but we didn't need him.
Right.
And then Miles Sanders is a good back, so you can't knock him for those two picks. And who else do we get? We got an offensive lineman that's supposedly young and he's pretty good. So that's three.
hmm
That might be it.
Now, how many years Harry Roseman been here?
I don't know, but you also got to say, see, if you blame Howard Roseman for everything, you also got to give him credit for the Super Bowl because he put that team together. He brought Nick Foles back. You know what I mean? He drafted Carson Wentz to make those moves to get Carson Wentz because our team was fucked up when we got rid of Chip Kelly. So he put the pieces back to make a quick turnaround. You can't knock him too much because he did.
All right, so you can't knock Doug then. It's the same thing.
Right. That's why I said they both on thin ice. I won't be mad either way. We can keep him one more year, see how they do, or we can fire him right now. I won't be mad either way. But that one more year with Doug Peterson and how we need to do good in the draft, and Doug need to get us a playoff win. If neither one of those happen, then they both should go.
Howard Roseman has been a general manager since 2010, and now he needs to be okay. You won the Super Bowl, but you can't just rest on winning the Super Bowl.
I know they give you a little bit of play, and then that play then ran up.
Okay, so
now,
what was you about to say?
I was gonna say, did you hear about 4 players trying to confront Doug having to be hold back?
No, who was the 4 players?
They wouldn't say who the 4 players were, but they said it was 4 players that was trying to confront Doug Peterson, and it was about benching Hurts, and he was holding them back. And then Hurts came out and said something. They're all pissed about it. So I would like to be a fly on the locker room wall and hear what Doug had to say at the end of the game. They did say Kelsey and another offensive lineman approached Doug, but the 4 players that confronted him, they didn't say who those 4 players was.
All right, let me see if I can find it.
While you looking for that, I'll keep talking. So they were saying, do Doug Peterson and Rivera, do they got like history together? Wasn't they on the same coaching team?
I don't know why.
I just feel because a lot of stuff was coming across the internet where they were saying that the coaches met on the field, and I looked at it and I watched it. They said because Rivera was going through like his wife or him was going through cancer. And all this, and he had a relationship with Doug. You hear him in the met at the field. He said, "Thank you," and then he said, "I really appreciate it." You know what I mean? To Doug Peterson. So like, it pretty much tanked to give his homeboy so he can make the playoffs. that's what people were saying, and I played the video a few times, and you can kind of hear that. So like, what's that about?
Let me see.
On my way home, I heard that the NFL is investigating the Eagles.
For what?
For probably just tanking on purpose on live TV and embarrassing them.
Well, look, it's their fault for flexing the game the Sunday night. So I blame the NFL more than anything.
Did you see Seth Joyner? Seth Joyner was snapping.
Yeah, I seen it. How he was embarrassed.
If I was the NFL, since the Eagles was playing for the 6th or the 9th pick and they tank on purpose to get the 6th pick, if I was the NFL, I would give the Eagles the 10th pick. That's what I would do, and that's all even and fair. They shouldn't take our pick. I've seen the NFL take people picks, but I don't want them to take our pick. It wasn't that serious.
Right. Okay. Eagles players, coaches was shocked by Doug. Hold on, let me because I know it's going to what's the name? It's going to. All right, here you go. When Doug Peterson pulled Jalen Hurts for Nate Sutterfield early in the 4th quarter and Sunday season finale against Washington, many Eagles players, coaches was shocked and outraged, team source told the Inquirer. Some were angry. 2 defensive players had to be held back from approaching Peterson. Center Jason Kurtz and another offensive starter went to the coach and asked him why he pulled the starting quarterback with the Eagles trailing by only 3. Hurts was distraught as well. Even though he had been told Wednesday that there was a chance Sutterfield would play, he couldn't understand why Peterson would make the switch. Sources close to the situation said. The NFL broadcast cursed Horse on the bench as he was replaced, apparently saying that's not right.
Yeah, I saw that.
As a competitor, I played to win, Hurts said after the game when asked about his reaction. You have to trust Peterson's plan. In many cases, the Eagles players and assistants had no inclination that Sutterfield was part of the offensive game plan. See, it came from upstairs. That already goes to tell you right there. If they did, they figured it had been abandoned because of the tight score.
Right. And that's why I said if they would have took Hurts out at halftime, it wouldn't have looked as obvious. Because Sutterfield came in the halftime, stunk it up with a loss, and nobody would have made a big fuss about it. But end of the 3rd quarter, you down 3, you don't tie it up with a field goal, That's when I knew the fix was in. Plus, all these good players that we have that was finally healthy, they're healthy scratches for this game. Come on, now it's
Right.
obvious.
Exactly. So yeah, exactly. Because now if this was Peterson, now if Howie saw all those healthy scratches, don't you think he would have said something? If Jeffrey Lurie seen all these healthy scratches, don't you think he would have said something to Peterson like, "Why is these guys being benched?" That's why it came
I
from up
I
top.
think I think the owner would say something. I don't see the general manager saying nothing. See, the general manager put the team together, but he don't pick who plays and who doesn't. I think that's the coach and the owner might have a say in that.
They already had an agreement that they wanted that sixth pick. They must have someone in mind for that sixth pick. I don't know who it is, but hopefully it's either offensive
We'll get into
lineman.
that.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
No.
Oh, what you say? No on offensive lineman.
Yes. No.
All right. So this with the sixth pick, who you want?
The sixth pick, if he's available, the best linebacker that's in the draft, Michael Parsons from Penn State. That's what I want.
Okay. So my
6'3", 245 tackling machine. That's what I
and
want.
and what's his stats this season?
He had like 110 tackles in
Okay.
12 games, 14 games. Like he's a beast when it comes to tackling. That's what I want. If he's probably not going to be there because he's going to go anywhere between like 4 and I want to say 7 somewhere in there. I think he's going to go.
Okay.
But I picked 3 players that I want us to get. You probably ain't gonna like my next 2, but
Go.
that's my number 1. If I
Mm.
can't get him, then it's between Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith, 2 receivers.
No.
Because we gonna let a lot 2 of our starters, so we gonna another playmaker and like offensive linemen. We've been drafting offensive line for the longest. Let our guys develop and pick up a quality guy off of free agency. Don't draft him. Receivers, you see what receivers can do that rookie year because the boy that we could have drafted, just broke the rookie record for receiving.
Yeah.
I'll
Jefferson.
give you a quick. Yep.
Go
I'll
ahead.
give you a quick breakdown on the 2 receivers. Jamar Chase is a big, strong ass dude. He's 6 feet, 208 pounds. Strong physical beast. He had 84 catches, 1,780 yards, and that was 20 touchdowns.
What
The other
college?
receiver,
What college?
he's a junior at LSU. Strong physical dude, kind of like I want to say like a T.O. type dude. Just he like aggressive. The other dude is small. He's a burner, and he can catch like a motherfucker, like a Fitzgerald. Devontae Smith from Alabama. He's a senior. I like the fact that he's a senior. Because he played 4 years putting up numbers. He's 6'1", 175 pounds. He had 105 catches, 1,640 yards, and 20 touchdowns. And that was 12 games. The other receiver had 20 touchdowns, but that was 14 games. So these are like can't miss receivers. That's definitely probably going in the top 10. If we had the 6 and that linebacker not there, we grab one of them boys. Now, who do you think we should go after?
I don't know. I'm not really much about college football, but I can tell you that it better be an offensive lineman because the offensive lineman is shit. Better be a linebacker like you mentioned, or I don't want to do this, but if they get a safety or draft a safety or cornerback, I'll be okay. But wide receivers, no.
It's
Harry Roseman got a great streak of drafting wide receivers. You want him to
but
draft another one?
yeah, but I want him to take the obvious pick. He never takes the obvious pick. He always reaching and thinking he's the smartest man in the room. Take who the census say is the top receivers. That's who you take. Don't be sitting there like he reached for Rager. He reached for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Like J.J., Alshon, and D-Jack should all be gone. You know what I mean?
Mhm. So
We definitely need another receiver.
So the Eagles restructured the contract of Alshon Jeffries and wide receiver Alshon Jeffries and defensive tackle Malik Jackson. They created $12 million in cap space.
Yeah, I think Alshon got to go. He still can catch. He just can't get open. And I can find a big body that can get open. You know what I mean? Catch. I'd rather go young without paying him. What are you making, like $15 million a year?
Yeah.
Well, you said they restructured, but still, he costs too much. He's not putting up the numbers for somebody that's making that. And with his injuries and his age, he can hit the road.
Alshon will be making 18, and Jackson will be 13 million.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, they both. It's gonna be always like you said. But if I could, they'll be going, and I'd rather go young, pick one of these young studs. But like I said, if you're going to go receiver, you got to take the ones that went to the big schools, played against the toughest competition, and produce. Do you want the guy that's a senior that done for years, or that's a strong physical, over 200 pounds? Like the one guy 175, the other one 208. Let's go with the strong physical boy, so he don't want to get jammed at the line. We had enough Deshaun Jacksons around. That's what Rieger is. We need a fucking muscle dude now.
Right. So, well, one positive thing they did, well, they didn't do it. Jim Schwartz is supposedly retiring, so they got rid of him. So, you free up for a defensive coordinator next season. Who you want?
It's funny how certain coaches retire, step away, walk away, and then other ones smack right in their face, get fired, no rap about it. Why they can't walk it out? The boy say, I digress. Let's get back to the question at hand here. You know what I mean, though.
So, but, no, I don't. Do you care to want to say it on here?
Let's get back to the question at hand. Replacement defensive coordinators.
Yeah, I would go with our old boy, DeMeco Ryans. He's a linebacker coach for the 49ers now, but he was a player here for the Eagles. What is he, 36, 37? I would go with DeMeco Ryans because I like to see young coaches get a little experience, and maybe they'll come with different ideologies or something like that. I'm tired of all these old dudes keep getting fired and bouncing from team to team. Let's get somebody new in there. So I'm going to roll with DeMeco Ryans.
Well, see, I never just make one pick. The same way what I did with the draft picks. I picked 3 coaches in the order, and I put a little note to what they got going on from a while. So my first pick would be Steve Wilks, the Cleveland defensive coordinator. His expertise is the secondary, and that's our biggest problem, the secondary. He was the defensive coordinator with Carolina for 1 year, and he was 3rd against the run defense. So he's my number one guy. I'll go for a young dude too. Like you said, I like young, fresh dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Not none of these old, been around every team, keep getting coaching jobs. The hell with them. I want a new face, somebody fresh. That'd be my first choice. My second choice would be Eric Washington. That's the defensive coordinator for Buffalo. I think he's a defensive line coach, but he was a defensive coordinator or defensive line coach with Carolina and with the Bears, and they both had top defenses. With Carolina, his defense was 2nd in sacks and 5th in quarterback hits. That's why I like him. You know what I mean? Check these dudes out. And then my third pick, like you said, it's funny you think like me on this one. 49ers defensive coach, linebackers coach, DeMeco Ryans. He was a linebacker coach since 2018. His defense was part of the defensive staff. His defense was 2nd in total yards given up. You know what I mean? Not allowed total yards. You know what I mean, per game. So,
right.
And he's a linebacker. So like out of the 3 coaches that I picked, 2 of them is an expert at what we our problems at. Like you got a secondary expert with Steve Wilks, and then you got DeMeco Ryans that was a linebacker. That's a linebacker coach that knows how to get these linebackers in shape. You know what I mean? So I like both of those. Now back to the draft. When you said you want a safety or a corner, where our pick at is no valuable option. So you would have to trade down to get a cornerback safety at that spot. And I'd rather not trade down and get the best at that position.
No, I said that if they did, I wouldn't be mad, but I don't want a rookie cornerback or safety back there. I want somebody with some experience.
Right. So that's what I mean. So like if we can get a linebacker, then let's go with and one of those 3 defensive coordinators. We're gonna be tight. especially if we can get D'Amico Ryans and we get the rookie line, he can square him away. But I won't be mad with neither one of those three choices.
All right, so let's just say, let me see the draft order. I was gonna say, if the Colts gave up their first round for Carson, I was gonna say would the linebacker be there, but they don't have that because they're in the playoffs.
But if you was the coach, would you give up a first round pick for Carson?
If they want them,
I said if you was the coach, the Colts, would you do that?
well,
I damn sure would.
well, I have a video. I have two videos, so we'll get to that when we get to Carson. But right now, it's the 2021 Eagle free agents. Who's staying and who's going, Phil? Number one, left tackle Jason Peters.
Retired.
Okay. Your old boy, linebacker Nate Gary, who just disappeared.
Done.
Cornerback safety Jalen Mills.
I would keep him.
Okay.
See the thing with our secondary, every year we keep interchanging people, so nobody is getting to gel and learn how to play with certain players. We're just focusing on how he play, and then we say, oh, he can't play, and then every year we keep coming back with new starting corners, a new safety. Like, you need to let people play together, learn how to feed off each other, get instincts, get familiar with each other. That's how secondary is going to work. You can't just keep plugging in new pieces and think it's going to work. Look at Washington. Right now, Washington got one of the best defense, and their secondary is good. And who's playing secondary cornerback for them? Oh, boy.
Yep.
So that's what I mean. Like, we keep plugging in and playing dudes. Like, stick with who we got. They know the system. Let them play. If you want to add to it, then add to it. Get a good secondary coach, somebody that has experience. We should try to bring like Brian Dawkins in and like help these guys.
I want to let him go from the jump anyway. What did he want to do? He went to be in the ministry, right?
Who, Brian Dawkins?
Yeah.
Well, they ain't really have him anyway. They was like a consultant. No, they should have hired him as a coach, a defensive secondary coach. That's what they should have got him for. Assistant defensive coordinator or something like that. But yeah, like he should have retired the Eagle, because even after we let him go, he went to like 2 or 3 more Pro Bowls with them. He should have been here for the long haul.
Well, that's what we do here.
Sure is.
They'll get rid of a guy in a hurry. Then they'll go to another team and do good. The only one that didn't was McNabb.
Yeah, McNabb don't count because he was old when he was pretty much done when he left here.
And also with the Shanahans, when he was talking about, he was saying the same thing that RG3 said about him.
Well, RG3 is funny because McNabb tried to talk to him, and he didn't want to hear what McNabb had to say, and then he got fucking burnt the same way McNabb got burnt.
Yeah. Speaking of McNabb, did you see the T.O. video?
I'm pretty much over with T.O. and McNabb, little beef. I think they need to be on a celebrity boxing match and just get that shit over with. They both bicker and babble. Like if T.O. didn't say he saw him throw up, why is we listening to third party comments all these years later? If you didn't see it for yourself, just leave that shit alone. You know what I mean?
Now, do you think he's going to play a game where he's playing one of the biggest games and be throwing up because he had a hangover? He was out drinking the night before.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Mm.
It was on national TV, so everybody would have saw that. Somebody would have saw it, and even if they got in a huddle to block it, when they walk away, it should be a pile of vomit there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then too, if he was out clubbing and partying hard as they was, somebody should have had a picture. Somebody at the club, or was it just the club closed just for Eagle personnel? Like wherever they was at, the bar, the club, wherever they was at, I'm pretty sure it was civilians there. Nobody got a picture. Nobody. Hey, McNabb was out partying last night. We didn't hear from nobody except T.O. So just leave that shit alone.
All right, so what we say? We was at Creevon LeBlanc, cornerback.
He can stay.
That's
LeBlanc.
LeBlanc. That's what I said. How do you pronounce it?
You said LeBlanc. It's Creevon LeBlanc. Fuck that all up.
Sorry about that. The last thing I want to do is fuck up somebody's name. Your quarterback you just mentioned, Nate Studfield.
Nate Studfield gone.
All right, you got Linebacker Duke Riley.
He can stay.
Yeah, he's not bad. Running back Boston Scott.
Boston Scott can stay.
Uh, Cornerback Roby Coleman.
He's done. Every time we get our ass busting, I'm looking to see who it is. He's one of them. And I don't mean for yards. I mean for touchdowns. Looking stupid with his hit. Never turn around. He got to go.
All right. Linebacker Alex Singleton.
Stay.
Yeah, he's not bad. Wide receiver Greg Ward.
Stay.
Okay, now Carson Wentz is supposed to be upset, and he demands to get out of here next season. Here's NFL Countdown Chris Mortensen with a video.
Carson Wentz, his relationship with the Eagles is all but fractured. In fact, it is fractured. Wentz is expected to ask the Eagles for a trade. He'll help the Eagles to facilitate a trade. The reaction of Jeffrey Lurie, the owner, will be vital to this one. But right now, Wentz clearly wants out of Philadelphia and a fresh start somewhere else. That will be a big story in the offseason.
Now, here goes NFL's Games Day. Mike Garofalo and Tom Peterson. I know I butchered their name something horrible, but I don't watch this shit anymore.
It's Garofalo.
Okay, and what's the other guy's name?
I want to say Pelissero.
All right. Well, here you go. This is like a 30-second clip.
Rivers, a starting quarterback for the Colts, faces a big-time decision after the season, and it's really very simple. Either he returns to the Colts for another season, or he retires. 39 years old. That is it. He's not going to another team, and some of that depends on the results of not just today, but whether or not they make the playoffs. To talk to people close to him, it sounds like it is up in the air, but retirement is very real. So let's say, guys, they need a replacement. My understanding is Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz, if he is in fact on the block and traded, would prefer Indy over several other choices. He might be involved in this process going forward through the season.
Ian, Ravens, Bengals.
What process is Carson Wentz in? He going to tell somebody where he wants to get traded?
Right. Like, he don't have no pull. If I was the Eagles, and if he demand a trade, I'd be like, you know what? Go ahead and find you a home. And once you find your home, let us know. We'll make it happen.
All right. So, goodbye, Eagles NFL season. We see you in what? When do training?
Hold on. There's still some players that you forgot.
That's free agents? No,
They're
that's
not free agents. They're not free
like
agents,
Zach
but
all that shit. No, because they got to cut Zach Ertz.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you say are they going to be back, that's what that.
Oh,
he's
going because he's going to be. That's like a $12 million cap hit if they keep him. Why would they keep him for and they barely used him?
I would keep Ertz, but they're probably going to let him. They'll probably let him go.
Boy, you sure? Like, why would you keep him for what?
Before this year, he was the third best tight end in football. Carson Wentz stunk it up, so his numbers was down. He couldn't do nothing.
Okay, that's true.
So how? That's what I mean. So how fast can you go from being the third best tight end a year later, all of a sudden he can't do nothing? He's out of the league. His quarterback stunk and wouldn't throw him the ball.
Okay. Now who else?
So I would keep Ertz, but I believe the Eagles are going to let him go.
Of course,
Kelsey, I would keep Kelsey, but I think Kelsey is going to retire.
Yeah,
Jake
I would.
Elliott, go ahead. What'd you say about Kelsey?
I would keep him.
Okay. Corey Clement, I would cut him.
Mm-hmm.
He comes in like one or two plays every game. I don't need that. I would rather just get a ball to Boston Scott or Miles Sanders. I don't need Corey Clement. Jordan Howard, same shit. He's done. Cut him. Who else we got? And I would probably cut D-Jax and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. And that's why I said draft a receiver. Mm-hmm. Alshon is probably going to be back, but I would get rid of him too if I could.
No, I think they're going to cut him. That's why they restructured the contract, because it would have been a big cap hit if they wouldn't have restructured the contract. So it saved them $12 million. That's what I'm saying about Zach Ertz. If they keep him, then he's that's $12 million cap hit if they keep him.
Right, but what I'm saying is D-Jack is making a lot of money and Alshon is making a lot of money. If you can get them off your books, you're better in the long run.
All right, so
we getting rid of let's take this year out of the picture. You're getting rid of your starting tight end and your 2 starting receivers. So you're gonna need some help on offense, and that's why I said draft a receiver.
You got Fulgham.
Yeah, jury's still out on him. He's a young boy. Like, he's not ready to step up and be the man.
How? You just said the same thing about Zach Ertz. Like, your quarterback ain't doing shit, and he was the hottest receiver for two weeks, 3 weeks, and then they stopped throwing to him.
Yeah, you see, so you comparing 2-3 weeks to what Ertz got, like the all-time receptions.
But you said this year. You said he stuck up the joint this year.
He stuck up this year, but you have a track record that you know what he can do. We don't have a track record on what Fulgham can do except those 3 or 4 game stretch.
Deshaun,
it's not like I'm not getting rid of Fulgham, but I'd rather draft a stud receiver out of college.
Deshaun next season it will be making $8 million at 34. Ain't no way in the world they're gonna pay him that much.
Well, for the play 2 games.
Exactly.
And when he's healthy, he's good. You see his first game back, what he do? Opened it up with an 84-yard touchdown bomb that I call.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even play the last game when he not even hurt. Same with Alshon. That was a fucking tank for this world to see.
You got any other players?
I just have Doug and Carson. If we keep both of them, because they're probably both coming back. If they're coming back, then they're both on the hot seat. And like I said before, when y'all said it wouldn't happen, I said have Carson and the young bull fight for the starting job.
Nope.
Young bull's under contract for the next 3 years, so he ain't going nowhere.
And
Carson Wentz, maybe this was a abnormality out of his career. Maybe he'd have a bounce back. If I could get rid of him, I would. But if I can't, then I'm gonna let him compete for the starting job.
The judgmental podcast listener, one of our most famous judgmental podcast listeners, Shannon Sharp, said, as I said first before he said it, you are not going to see Carson Wentz sitting there with a damn hat and a clipboard, and he's making like $30 million in one season. He done lost his quarterback starting position to a darn second-year player.
But you can't take what Shannon Sharp says about Carson Wentz because he's biased. He loved him some walking to him. So he was like salty that Carson played so bad this year. And he had no comebacks because he believed in Carson was like the next best fucking quarterback to come out of the NFL. And now he's salty, so he's going to whatever he can. So you can't take his advice when it comes to Carson. He's biased on that one.
Right. Don't shit on with my statement that I said before. And the other guy said it, and our man from New Orleans said the same thing. It's impossible. You're not going to pay nobody money. They're just sitting around.
You named a couple guys, but I can name a couple guys too. Not offhand right now, but I've seen them say the same thing. Let Carson Wentz compete for the job next year.
Your boy Seth Joyner said it, but he might have CTE.
Oh, shit. Now he got CTE.
He might. I don't know. Because that don't make any sense. And he's in the NFL, and he should know better than to say that. They're not going to pay anybody.
What I'm saying is, if you can't get rid of him, then you let him compete for the job.
If I can't get rid of him, his ass is a starting quarterback unless he's hurt. Now, if he's injured, then Jalen Hurts should be playing.
So let's say you can't get rid of him, and he have a bad preseason. You're not going to bench him and just let go with Jalen Hurts?
While he's sitting on a bench making $20 million a year? Do you know the camaraderie? Like how we was talking about the locker room. The locker room would be up in arms. Like, you got this guy making $20 million, and he just sitting around with a clipboard and a hat.
Well, that's what the receivers did last year. Well, Alshon and D-Jack, they played a total of maybe 2-3 games.
They were injured, though. Carson wasn't hurt.
Bullshit. They had injuries, but they wasn't hurt, though. They could have played a lot of games this year. I've been watching Alshon, and I've been seeing him practice all week. He might give it a go this week. Nah, he's not going to play this week. Then he practiced all week again. Oh, he might go this week. Nah, he's not going to play this week. That's bullshit.
The doctors told him that.
Ain't no doctors.
So, well, all right, NFL, Eagles NFL season. It was a hard one, but we'll see you next season. So now we on to the playoffs. Your picks for the playoffs. So we'll start with the AFC first. Let's go. Let's start to the AFC. We'll go to the AFC to the championship, NFC to the championship, and then you'll pick the Super Bowl. So we got the Chiefs first round bye. Second, you got number 2 Bills against the number 7 Colts, which is on Saturday at 1 o'clock. The Bills are a touchdown favorite, 7 points. Who you have?
Buffalo. That
Okay.
quarterback is running through the league this year.
All right. So now you have the number 3 Steelers against the number 6 Cleveland Browns. That game is Sunday at 4:40, and the Steelers are 6-point favorites. Who you have?
I'm gonna go with Cleveland
Why?
because they feeling good. They got a good defense. They feeling good about themselves. They got 2 good running backs. It all depends on their quarterback. If Baker Mayfield come to play, but Pittsburgh is shaky all year. Even though they got a nice record all year, can't move the ball, can't do nothing, but then squeaking out wins. They're
So
like I was about to say what is their record, like 11-3 or something?
yes,
What's their record?
they are 12-4.
Yeah, they're the worst 12-4 team I've ever seen.
All right,
They got no 1,000-yard rush receiver, I don't think. No 1,000-yard running back, and they 12-4 with a quarterback that's playing like a joke right now.
all right. Now the question is Mike Tomlin on the hot seat?
He should be.
Okay. So if the Steelers lose to the Browns, is he getting fired?
Nope. I'll give him one more. He was dealing with a lot of injuries too.
All right. So you got number 4 Titans against the number 5 Ravens. That game is also on Sunday at 1:05. The Ravens are 3.5 favorites.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
I like Tennessee.
That should be a good game though.
I like Tennessee offense, but their defense is shit. And that defense is gonna get them problems because they can score points, but that defense can't stop nobody.
Yep.
So, all right. So now you got the Chiefs versus the Bills.
Chiefs.
All right. So now you got Cleveland versus the Ravens.
Ravens.
All right. So yeah, AFC Championship is the Chiefs versus the Ravens. Now who's going to the Super Bowl?
Kansas City.
So you got Kansas City going to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. So the NFC, you have Packers get a first round bye. You have the number 2 Saints against the number 7 Bears. That game is on Sunday at 4:40, and the Saints are 9.5 favorites.
They don't got a quarterback. I'm gonna go with the Saints.
All right. So you have the number 3 Seahawks against the number 6 Rams. That game is Saturday at 4:40, and Seahawks are 4-point favorites.
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
All right. So now you got your team, Washington football team, number 4, against the Buccaneers, number 5.
Tampa.
Okay. You just gave Washington defense props.
They got a good defense. They got to be able to score though.
All right. So you got the Packers versus the Saints.
I'm gonna go Packers.
You have the Seahawks versus Tampa Bay.
Go Tampa Bay.
Oh shit! Why?
I think Tampa Bay can score some points.
Okay. Nah, I think they're going to. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if Washington beat them. I wouldn't be surprised.
You got to score, man. They can't score. You see,
Hey,
they struggled again. We got 4 wins, and we could have beat the fucking Redskins. They got 6 wins. They don't belong in no playoffs.
So you got the NFC Championship, Saints versus Tampa Bay.
You mean Packers?
I mean Packers. I'm sorry, I wrote down Saints. Packers versus Tampa Bay.
I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay.
What the hell? So who's winning the Super Bowl? The Chiefs or Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay.
Oh my goodness! You think the Tampa Bay is going to winning the Super Bowl?
Going with the GOAT.
I'm telling you, they're going to. They look shaky the first half of the season. They came back, but I think they're going to look shaky again when it comes to this playoffs. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Washington beat them in a low-scoring game. If the defense can keep Tampa Bay from scoring a low-scoring game, why couldn't the Redskins Washington team beat them?
So who do you have in the AFC Championship and in the NFC Championship? Because you heard my picks. I want to hear who you have.
All right. So the Bills versus the Colts, I have the Bills. The Steelers versus the Browns, I'll have Pittsburgh because the Browns are shaky. We got Titans versus the Ravens. Oh, that's a hard one. That is a hard one. I keep it with the Ravens. So Bills versus Chiefs, I have the Chiefs. Steelers versus Ravens, I'm gonna take the Steelers on that one. So Chiefs versus say it again.
Go ahead. No, go
So
ahead.
Chiefs versus Steelers, I have the Chiefs. All right, Bears and Saints, I have the Saints. Seahawks and Rams, I'll take Seattle. Washington and Buccaneers. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Washington beat the Buccaneers, but I'll go with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, you talk trash to me, but then you pick the same
So
thing.
we have the Packers versus the Saints. I'll take the Packers on that one. Seahawks versus Tampa Bay. Ain't no way in the world. I'm taking Seattle on that one. Packers versus Seattle. I picked the Packers to go to the Super Bowl, so I'm going to go with Seattle. So Chiefs versus Seattle. I'll take the Chiefs. Andy Reid gets 2 in a row.
Said Seattle for the East. Let me see. Seattle. And you got Chiefs winning?
Yes. Your boy Andy Reid gets 2 in a row.
You got pretty much a lot of the same picks. I think you might have had one or two. You had two games different. You had Pittsburgh going further than what I got them, and then on the other side, you got Seattle going further than what I got them. But everything else is pretty much the same. So you talk a lot of trash, but you thinking like me.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You pick the same. You pick almost the same route. So you say what you want.
Is there anything you want to add?
Nah, that's it.
Well, what we did here, we started with the Pittsburgh game. We had I got on Twitter and I asked people to come and join us, and people answered us at the post game show. So we had the opposing team fan come talk to us in the post game show. It was rather fun. What you think about that one?
Yeah, that was cool. I like hearing how other people feel.
Right.
Because it's a different perspective than the Philly fans that we talk to all the time, people from here.
So shout out to Jeff Baker, Steelers fan Jeff Baker. Shout out to OG Gamer B Moore. Shout out to the Josh Solo for the Giants fan, the youngest person on here, because I didn't know he was in high school.
Oh shit, me either.
I didn't know until I started looking at his page, and he was like, yeah, he wants to be in journalism. And he's still like in high school. I think he like in like the 10th grade or something.
Oh shit.
Yep. Shout out to Danger Zone Rich, a Browns fan. Every time I see the Browns fucking up, I always think about him. Shout out to our boy King Mark, also known as Mimosa Mark, a Packers fan who started liking the Packers because of the color of their uniforms, and he lives in California. And a Packers fan.
Bandwagon hoppers is unreal.
Yeah. Shout out to the Saints fan Fred Jones. Shout out to Ryan Gutierrez, Cardinals fans who can talk rings around the Saturn. Good guy though. We gotta have a boy. I was thinking about like the next big fight, like bringing him on or whatever the next big fight is.
You watching boxing?
I think so. Well, hell, he said he likes sports, and he'll come and talk us under the table.
The voice for that.
Yeah. And shout out to Jay Clark and CJ Lee. CJ Lee, Dallas fan. CJ Clark was from Central New Jersey and a Dallas fan because his father's a Cowboy fan. And CJ Lee was from Virginia. And he started liking the Cowboys because another guy who liked the uniform colors.
Sure.
Right.
They came up when those teams was kicking ass and they jumped on the bandwagon.
Yep. So it's a new year. Happy New Year too.
Happy New Year, brother.
Is that what you drinking? Alcohol for New Year? Is that what's that you drinking?
This right here. This is a little E&J with some Coke. Had a rough day today.
So, what you think about the podcast?
I like it for our first season. You know what I mean? Little tweaks here and there to improve. You know what I mean? We can talk about that offline.
Oh, well, why? Say one that's online. Say one that you want the
Huh?
people to hear. Say one that you want the people to hear.
Um, just keep it flowing more, like doing better research, having our stuff that we want to talk about already down. You know what I mean? Instead of
Right.
having to say, let me find out this, let me find out that, and looking on our phones or online trying to get the information we're looking for. Just already did that pregame. You know what I
Uh,
mean?
but the fans out there don't know that because I edit all that shit out.
All right, well,
So thanks for giving that away.
sometimes I had notes, other times I just winged it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of that, did you see how we did? Well, you don't know who MF Doom is, do you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I didn't
Oh,
listen to it yet.
oh, I fucked
I
that up.
saw when you posted it, and I was supposed to listen to it today, but got busy at work, and I ain't had no time to listen to nothing.
Yeah, I fucked that up bad because I did what you were talking about. I kind of like some of the stuff I wrote down and some of the stuff I freestyled, and I'm like, damn, look at all, and I'm like listening to it. I'm like, look at all the shit that I missed, and I
Right.
said
So,
this.
and that's what happened when we freestyle. It'd be a lot of stuff when you go back and listen, like, oh man, why I ain't say this? Oh man, I could have talked about this or brought this up. Or you might have something on your mind, but when you start talking, you just forget to bring it up or talk about it, and then you're like, damn, I should have brought that up.
Right, because I said that Greg Nice had the KMD Masters in his mom's attic, but it was Pete Nice. So I went from a black guy to a white guy. And I said, damn, I can't believe I said Greg Nice. I should have wrote that shit down. Yep.
Anybody
Uh,
fuck with you about it?
no, nobody said anything yet. But one thing I can ask you on here. Since you can draw and stuff, won't you doodle down like a little logo or something, and we can get it we can get it we can get a computer designer and design it for our podcast logo.
Man, I haven't drawn in years, man.
Well, you some doodle. What you think? Whatever you think of on top of your head, doodle it down. Send me the picture, and we can get it. We can see if
Well,
we can
we
have
can
it.
talk about it. I might have to call the artist of the family.
Who's that? Oh, you don't want to say on here?
How?
Oh, okay.
He
All
told me
right.
how to draw. He was 10 times better than me.
All right. What's your social media? The fans want to know.
You about to post it, so we good.
Well, you could reach the Judgmentals on Facebook and Twitter at PNL Judgmentals. Reach us on Instagram at the2_judgmentals. Or you can email us at pnljudgmentals@gmail.com. Thanks, man. I appreciate
All
you.
right, man. Peace out. Talk to you when I talk to you.
All right.
Hey yo, man, it's your time. Man, fuck poverty. Get this money, man. What the fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
I can tell you're mad at me just by how your face look. You can check the status on my level, not my Facebook. Comments on my photo.